Our rules are simple, but the challenge is great. All dinos will be explored in this challenge, but only reasonable underdogs voted on by the community will be considered for grading. Equipped with official server cap saddles, our 19 contenders will be backed by the commanding presence of a loyal Uteranus providing that extra boost. All competitors will go into battle with food to provide a healing effect. Herbivores will have plenty of sweet veggie cakes, and carnivores and omnivores will have cooked meat. It's important to note that tames in this series aren't typically used during boss battles because of the amount of mutations you need to make them competitive. But all dinos competing will have around 23,000 health and 1200% melee. This will give them all a fair shot at defeating at least one of the guardians. It won't always be feasible to reach these stats depending on the dinos I'm using, but I'll let you know the amount of mutations and levels it took in order to reach it. All competitors start out with 50 base health and melee and 40 points in everything else before I apply mutations and experience levels. You can decide on your own servers if the juice is worth the squeeze. Competitors are required to fight the megapithecus, broodmother, then dragon on all difficulties, starting with gamma, then beta, finishing with alpha. Their success will be annotated on this scorecard with a pass or fail system. Clearing all the bosses earns them a gold boom medal. Silver is awarded for clearing beta, bronze is for clearing gamma, and the chunk of shit is for an unworthy performance. Once all expansion creatures are finished, the gold medal winners will test their strength against the overseer for the finale. Now let's introduce our competitor and see if they have what it takes. Gacha. This hungry hippo can be found lumbering around the sunken forest region on extinction. The Gacha is a passive creature that produces crystals on its back while eating a literal ton of food. This hungry fellow will literally eat everything, so be careful what you drop around it or put in its inventory. The crystals that they produce can provide items or raw resources. They grow on their back and pop off, which you can pick up off the ground or use a pegomastics to pick them up. The stats required for this competition will reach with 20 mutations and 60 experience levels. 0 mutations and 25 experience levels went into health, and 20 mutations and 35 experience levels went into melee. Now let's see if they have what it takes. The green portal is up and the undersloths are ready to chew their way into the Gamma Megapithecus arena and put their claws to the test. Right off the bat, the most glaring issue I have with these guys is their horrible collision. They have one of the clunkiest hitboxes compared to other creatures that I have ever seen, and sadly, that seems to translate to one of the most common bugs we've experienced in this series. The Gacha won't always attack when close to large creatures like the bosses. You would think that as development on this game went further along, they would have learned to not do this, but here we are. The Gamma Megapithecus is an easy boss, but I wind up losing a couple Gachas in this fight from the Megapithecus and his cronies' damage, but they do take home a pass. The Gamma Broodmother is up next, and I didn't think they could pull it off. I mean, you can't get beat up by the Gamma Megapithecus and come into the Broodmother fight expecting to have some success. She is a vicious monster and will absolutely annihilate you if you're not prepared. The undersloths are a bit of a pain to maneuver around the arena, and they appear to glitch into the pillar and become unusable. If you're crazy enough to try these guys out in a boss fight, I'd recommend engaging the Broodmother at a spot in her cave that's far away from the pillars. The Gachas actually appear to be able to hit the Broodmother far more often than they can hit the Megapithecus, which I have seen from previous creatures in the past. In the end, the Gachas pull it off, earning a surprising pass. The Gamma Dragon is up next, and the Broodmother fight actually gave me a bit more confidence. The Dragon fight can easily be won by weaker creatures if you get your positioning correct during this fight. All you need to do is position yourself under the dragon's armpits at an angle so that you don't get hit, and let your army hit it from the back. This strategy is effective, but there are a few things that you need to accomplish. The first thing is to allow your Uteranus to take the first shot of fire from the boss when he lands, which he can only do up to 3 or 4 times. The fire is the big killer in this fight, and eventually Commander Utes takes too much of it and he's put into the ground. I hop on the closest Gacha and they all start dropping like flies. The dragon fire proves to be too much for the mobile Christmas trees, and they're handed their first set of fails. Blue portal time means beta time, and the beta Megapithecus is up next. The boss minions during the Broodmother and Megapithecus fights proved to be a hell of a challenge to deal with for the Gacha. The knockback is massive with these guys, and I found myself chasing them around the arena in order to rescue them, which actually proved to be pretty detrimental to the whole fight. I think their lack of speed worked against them big time in all of these fights, and it just goes to show that maneuverability is often pretty beneficial and often overlooked as a key trait in these fights. The Gacha gang winds up losing a few of its members that get forced off the cliff from the knockback, and sadly, the Megapithecus starts crushing them left and right. Towards the end, Commander Utes and I made eye contact and swore to not let the sturdy ape bring us down. So we leapt into the abyss together and let the cold embrace of death take us. That's a fail. The Beta Broodmother is up next, and if you've never taken her on, I'm here to tell you that she is not an easy fight. She has a powerful attack that hits everything in front of her, and her douchebag children slow your movement speed down with web attacks. Now, I like being tied up like most of you do as well, you kinky bastards, but sometimes it can be pretty annoying when you're getting devoured by spiders. The beta broodmother displays once again that she's no walk in the park, and she puts down the undersloths with ease, handing them their final fail. Heading over to the scoreboard, the undersloths are in a big, steamy pile of shit for failing to clear the Gamma stage. The expansion series will continue through Genesis, but there's going to be a bit of a change to the Scorched Earth series. I'm not going to be doing any more creatures on the Scorched Earth series that can participate against the island bosses. The mana core is just too damn easy, but I will be using things like flyers to finish it off before I move on to the extinction series against the Titans. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing to help this community grow. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.